From the White House, where President Donald Trump signed an executive order soon after taking office.
This is a big deal. Merit. Our country is going to be based on merit again.
To the U.S. Senate floor.
A large number of these nominees have publicly expressed support for so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. I'm concerned, very concerned, that DEI distracts our military from its mission.
And the Alabama State House.
Nothing in this act prohibits or prevents students, faculty, organization, or associations from hosting DEI programs or discussions that may involve divisive concepts, so long as no state funds are used.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion are under attack. For years, these words have been goals in classrooms, the workplace, and society in general. But now major universities, corporations, and even our government are moving to reduce or cut these programs altogether. WVTM 13's Carla Wade takes an in-depth look at how the effort to roll back DEI is being challenged.
Despite protests from people in support of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, Alabama Senate Bill 129 took effect in October 2024.
7-3, the bill receives a favorable report. Thank you to the sponsor, thank you committee, and we're adjourned.
It forced all DEI offices at Alabama state-funded universities to shut their doors. Labeling them divisive concepts, it also put limits on how race and gender can be discussed on campus. Restrictions this Alabama professor says impacted her classroom almost immediately.
So I felt shocked and I felt hurt, to be perfectly honest with you. And it came very quickly after the law went into effect, right? So the law went into effect on October 1st. I was first notified that there had been a complaint on October 8th.
Dana Patton is one of a group of Alabama professors and students who have filed a lawsuit challenging the new state law, saying it's discriminatory and violates the First Amendment. Patton says the law is vague and opens up educators to frivolous complaints from students and even outsiders.
It's very uncomfortable to teach, to know if you're staying within the bounds of the law. And it's very concerning to me, the effect that this is having on students and on our ability to educate.
She feared being fired after someone complained about this book and documentary.
You can't teach about poverty in the United States and in Alabama without talking about race. And so we talk about things like the history of race in Alabama. I show my students a documentary called Slavery by Another Name, which focuses heavily on Alabama and Birmingham and the issue of convict leasing.
It creates what we call in the law a chilling effect, where people are afraid to actually engage in discourse that the state finds to be disfavored.
I feel constrained in what I can and cannot say. I feel concerned about another complaint being brought against me, a false complaint, so I record all of my lectures. This is something that I've never done in over 20 years of teaching.
Our clients are very brave. They all have a perspective that this is a moral cause, that this is wrong, that the state is using their own preferences to censor their experiences and their identities. And I think that is part of why this law is so dangerous.
The journey of diversity, equity, and inclusion, from corporate jargon to scorn-worthy buzzwords, seemingly happened overnight. But DEI expert Dr. Nadia Johnson says the tipping point appears to have come in the aftermath of the protests over the murder of George Floyd in 2020.
I think some could call it a backlash, and certainly it can appear that way, but I think it really is that a lot of ignorance around what DEI actually is being fueled and filled with fear, and that fear is what's driving individuals to say, no, we don't want DEI.
While many discussions about DEI focus on race, it goes beyond that. DEI programs have allowed for accommodations for people with disabilities, rooms to pray or meditate in while you're at work, and programs for working mothers like rooms to pump breast milk.
DEI incorporates all forms of difference. So to kind of isolate the conversation to focus on race or sexual orientation or gender identity is just not valid. DEI includes veterans, it includes parents, it includes women. Those are not at odds with the things that we profess in this country. You know, life, love, liberty, justice for all those kind of things.
Ultimately, the future of DEI may rest with the courts. Carla Wade, WBTM 13.